So Matt, where did you get the drum kit?
When I get it, I built it. So yeah.
So,
Not to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I kind of see these things in my mind and then I just build them. They kind of just take shape as you build them. Yeah, so I built it out of solid Western red cedar. The floorboards are 30mm thick. All this gold stuff, that's 24 karat gold. So I've got altars too. Sarah helped me build the rack of toms, and all this gold design work. That's the Octorian man. He's another altar. But yeah, I don't set out a plan. I don't draw it first. I just see it in my head, and then I just go, okay, yeah, I'll build it like that. And then 3 months, 6 months later, I got that.
how long have you been instruments?
I started off with guitars probably about 18 years ago.
Did you play every instrument on the tracks?
Yeah. So I started this 3-song EP. I just sat myself down and just decided I wanted to do everything this time. So this is at the stage where I've discovered my altars, and some of my altars have gravitated towards instruments. Like Sarah really likes the drumming. She's my 3-year-old altar, so she likes that one. Shadow Girl, she's about 27. She likes playing bass. And then Vampire Man, he's a lead guitar, and then you got me singing and playing rhythm, although I do share the lead a bit. So yeah, I sat there for about a year and just worked on 3 songs, built the instruments, built the guitars, developed the songs with every instrument, and then recorded it, and now we're doing the film clip at the Go.
Can you briefly explain disassociation identity disorder for the people who don't know what that is?
I don't fully understand it, but for me it happened through childhood trauma. You got the flight, fight or freeze response. I froze, and then you go outside your body to get away from the pain. And I've had that all my life, and I've just been undiagnosed. Yeah, like I said, I don't understand it fully, but it used to be called multiple personality disorder, but they changed it. It overlaps with schizophrenia a bit, overlaps with autism a bit. There's kind of like 6 or 8 brain structures that are similar, and they all kind of overlap. Indigenous shaman, they're another one. So they're the people that can see the plant that can heal someone. It's like me with the drum kit. I can see it, and then I can build it. So it kind of, there's overlapping things. But yeah, ask a psychiatrist who knows what they're talking about now. They'll have a bit better understanding on how to explain it.
Okay. Well, how has this affected your life?
It's been good and bad. The bad is that I'm getting my answers with my childhood trauma and abuse. So
That'd be good.
What was the question? I didn't get.
How has this affected you? You just went into the bad. Maybe what's the good side of it?
Okay. The good side is. Geez, I'm starting to go deep.
It's alright, Just stop. A couple of deep breaths. Come back to it. cut all this bit out. Next question.
That's all right.
Just for the fans, can you describe the alters in the film clip in a bit more detail? Let's go back to the interview a bit after. It's not a biggie, we can sit back down at any time and finish it, mate.
Give me a minute. Alright, so bad is that I'm getting my answers with all my childhood abuse as to why I've been so different and the way they treated me, how they treated me and why they treated me. It's hard talking about that stuff, but then it's good to know that that's what's happened. And the alters have certain memories that are locked away that I can't access yet. So they're the real traumatic stuff. So Sarah's like my gatekeeper. She's like my main alter that can talk to everyone, and she's probably the first one to front. The good thing is I'm getting my answers. Like I'm starting to understand it now. I'm starting to understand that. That's why I reacted 20 years ago to something. That's why I've become the person I have. And I was also diagnosed with trophy child syndrome, which was, those little girls that get up on stage and have, like with the pageants, and have to win the prize because they have to look pretty. I had that in a footballing sense. I had to be the next AFL star because of my two old surnames. I was a Jonas and my mother's maiden name was an Ebert, and there, so it's like football royalty, so I had to follow in their footsteps, and yet my father couldn't play the game to save his life, and that's where all the abuse came through. So I had to be the best at everything. And the pressure of being a trophy child it overwhelms me. And that's why I think I kind of overdo it with my music and my art. Like I have to be perfect, I have to be millimetre perfect, or spot on with my drumming or whatever. And I know I'm not, but it's the pressure you put yourself under because of how you were raised to become that way. And then you collapse in heat, and that's where the alters take over. They kind of let you have a rest, and you go off and trip balls, and then I lose time. That's how I explain it. I lose time. I come back, and it could be 2 minutes, or it could be 2 hours, and that's why Sarah was helping me build the rack of toms, and I was like, I don't recall building that part of it. And then when the Octorium man was doing all these patterns, like I don't recall it. I'd come back and it was there. I'm like, oh, okay, we've done that today. So that's kind of a good thing about it. Well, you got all these different entities, like you're accessing parts of your brains that other people can't access. Which, I mean, you're kind of going interdimensionally and all that kind of stuff. It's bizarre. This is where I fail trying to explain it in proper terms.
In basic layman's terms, what you're saying is, through traumatic events in childhood, these other personalities took over, so you wouldn't actually feel the mental abuse as well as the physical while it was happening.
Yeah.
Can you describe the alters in the film clip?
We've got Sarah. Sarah's the drummer, so She loves drumming for some reason. She's actually left-handed. I'm right-handed. So I'm actually left and right-handed and left and right-footed. Not to be confused with ambidextrous either, because they're right-handed, left-footed, or vice versa. So, yeah, like she'll draw stuff left-handedly and all this type of stuff. So that makes her like really suited to the drum kit. It's going on everywhere. So she really enjoys that part of it. Shadow Girl, she's like, she's actually full of love. She's actually supposed to be full of love, and well, not supposed to be. She is. She's like self-care. Express yourself, be self-care, and kind of who cares what everybody thinks. And I'm a male dressing up as a female, and it's like most of the people love it, which is good. Like it's good reception that most of the public are starting to understand that it's okay to be like this. So that's another positive about the condition. And she appeared through another altar. She was another altar's shadow. Just going down the rabbit hole. So she appeared, and that altar that she appeared from wrote my journal, which I'll put a link below. So she's the left brain one. That's Claire. So I've got an altar where I'll disassociate, and Claire will write 4 or 5 pages of my journal. I come back and go, okay, that's written, and then I have to digest it and read it. And then Vampire Man, he was the energy or the reaction I should have had with my old man dealing out the abuse, and I didn't have that. I was too small. I couldn't fight a grown man. So he's kind of that reaction, that energy, that we're pissed off, I want to fucking energy, which is good in small doses, but you don't want to open him up too much. So I try and have fun with him by playing guitar. Yeah, and there's a whole heap of other altars that I won't go into just yet.
Okay, well, maybe a few words about the biggest character in the band, Matt Black himself.
I'm a train wreck. There you go.